Welcome. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Amelia, and I want to talk about the gray area, the gray space, or the gray. The gray. But not just as a color or a concept, but as an experience for us. The gray area, the gray space in our lives. And so, does the gray area exist for you? Is life just black and white? Or is there a gray space? Is there a gray? So if there is a gray area, if you believe that life isn't just black or white, and there's gray, what is the gray? Does the gray mean that things are both black and white? Or maybe the gray for you means that it's neither black or white, that things are neither good nor bad. Certain things, that life isn't just pain or pleasure, that it's not just success or failure. That maybe if life isn't about success or failure, if there's a gray there, it's simply about the journey rather than success or failure. Just if the gray means neither, then does that mean that it's not about pain and it's not about pleasure, that it's about purpose, that it's just about the purpose somehow? Or is it both pain and pleasure? Does that mean we're meant to recognize both, experience both, that it's meant to be this blend, that it's meant to be both black and white? And so then where is the gray area? Is it in all things? Are all things in it? So things like avoidance that we normally recognize as black or white. We think of avoidance and we a lot of times maybe think that it's a bad thing, that it's something to get rid of. But when we consider the gray area, whether it's gray being both black and white, good and bad, or the gray meaning that avoidance is neither good or bad, that avoidance just is, that it just is this mechanism that maybe we're not meant to inherently deem as good or bad. It just is something that we do, that all of us do. Sometimes we avoid, and in moments that we are meant to face something head on, and so we are used to calling it bad. But that same mechanism of avoidance has been perceived as good, as positive, as life-saving, self-preservation, safety. When we avoid dangerous situations or life-threatening situations, that avoidance is suddenly seen as good and not bad. So how about facing things head on, right? We facing things on with no hesitation, immediately jumping in. Where does that fall? Is that black or white? Is it good or bad? Is it good and bad? Is it both? Or is the gray of it that it's neither? That maybe that too is neither good or bad, it just is. So then, what else is in the gray area? What does it mean to being vulnerable? Does being vulnerable is being vulnerable just black or white? White or black? Good or bad? Is being vulnerable weak, a weakness or a strength? So again, within the gray is our ability to be vulnerable as humans or as living, breathing creatures. All of us. Is being vulnerable good or bad? Is it strong or weak? Is it black or white? Or is it both, black and white? A strength and a weakness? Or maybe you'd say that it's neither. That being vulnerable just is what it is. That it's a part of our nature. Does it depend on the situation? Does it depend on the purpose and the intention when we seek to avoid, when we seek to be vulnerable? Maybe the gray is determined by our intentions or the purpose. Maybe it's about the outcome, and that's how we decide whether or not something is good or bad, black or white, or gray. So then maybe so does that mean that the gray area is different for each of us? Right? Maybe our definitions of the gray area in life is because of our perspective on things. And so does that mean that the gray area is fluid? That it's malleable? That it's ever-changing? Sometimes we decide that avoidance is bad and we decide it's black or white and concrete, but then we flow into a different understanding, a different perspective of what we once thought was either black or white, or what we once perceived and experienced as both black and white. Can the poison also be the cure? Is it both black and white? Can it be both black and white? Or is it neither? Maybe it just is. Can it just be what it is without being black or white? Without being good or bad, success or failure, pleasure or pain? Is it possible? And so what does that change? Maybe nothing changes. Or maybe absolutely everything changes. So what do you see? So where do you see the gray? Does it exist? So what do you see? Thank you for exploring with me. So thank you for exploring with me the black, the white, the gray, and everything in between.